Hey there everybody, welcome back to another installment of Class in Session. Today I'm going to show you guys how to draw a face. Once again, I got another book that I have that helps me with drawing portraits and faces. This one seemed the most appropriate. A lot of the ones that I have are how to draw humans all together, so their bodies, their hands, their legs, their faces, but this one is just for portraits and faces. If you get a chance to look up any sort of books that might help you out, this one's called Portrait Drawing, Step-by-Step Instruction Book by Wendrock and drawings by John Lawn. They're pretty good. It's mostly about trying to get them to be a little more realistic and getting all the shading down and everything, but I'm going to show you guys some cheat codes on how to make a basic face and then alter it and change it into the face that you want. And after you practice it a few times, then you'll be able to just make the face you want without having to get the base down. So, I think that's everything I need to say, so I think I'll go ahead and get started. So first off, you want to start with a circle. You can trace something if you want. Sometimes people get something circular to start it off and get that perfect circle, but a lot of times I just draw it over and over and over again. Whenever I draw it over and over and over again, there are a lot of lines I'm going to erase, but I'm going to also take some of those lines that I like and I'm going to keep them so that I can use them for the face that I'm about to draw. Next, you want to add the chin. I think maybe I should move my camera just a little bit. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to draw the chin. I want to bring it down a little more, that's why I did that. And it's going to turn into sort of like an egg shape. That egg shape is a baseline. A lot of people have more narrow chins, wider chins, but this is a baseline. I'm going to emphasize that a lot because people say, well, I don't look like that, she doesn't look like that. I know. This is just a basic face. And normally I gravitate towards drawing male faces. They're just easier. With male faces, you can add wrinkles and lines and gritty looking features and it still looks okay. With female faces, you need to be more delicate. You need to try not to add so many lines because then it really ages the appearance a lot. So with this face right here that I'm probably just going to gravitate towards a male face anyway. This is an egg shape. What we're going to do is we're going to add our guiding lines. You guys have always seen this, that little plus shape. I'm going to explain what it's for, why people do it. I drew a line straight down the center just to help me understand where the center is whenever I'm trying to place things throughout the drawing. I'm going to be adding in a nose, mouth, eyes, everything, and I need to be able to say like, oops, I drew, to not say, oops, I drew the nose over here and the eyes over here. Next, you're going to draw some horizontal guidelines. These horizontal guidelines are, everybody always thinks that you have to draw it right in the middle of the head, right in the middle of the circle, they're confused. You're going to find the center of this circle. Usually I kind of like make a mark, just a basic one, just to ballpark it. And then I add the line in there with the ruler to perfect it. That seems a little high up. I'm going to lower it just a little bit. Try and get rid of that one. It's going to be about where the eyebrows are. Now, midway between the bottom of this circle and that line you just drew, I usually draw another line. That's about where the eyes are. It's almost midway through, it's right about there, somewhere around there. Then, right where the circle ends, that's about where the nose is going to be, which is about halfway between that line we just drew for the eyes and the chin. That's where the nose is going to be. Now, halfway between the nose and the chin is right about where the mouth is going to be. So as you can see, we've already made a couple of measurements here. We found the center of the head, the circle, the center of that circle, we drew a line. That's about where the eyebrows are going to be. Halfway between the bottom of the circle and that line we just drew is where the eyes are going to be. I hope I'm not losing anybody. from that line we made for the eyes and the chin, halfway down that, or the bottom of the circle, is going to be where the nose is. Then, halfway between where the nose and the chin is, that's where the mouth is going to be. You can see all these halfway points, boom, 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 over and over again. It's, once you practice it, you replay the video a couple times, you'll get the hang of it and you'll start to memorize it. Now I'm going to start adding in features. For the eyes, I feel like this is the hardest part because we don't really have anything else to moderate it. I'm not sure of a better word. Another thing to reference while we're drawing it. Sometimes we're going to say like, well, the nose is this wide, so they have to be this far apart, but the eyes are kind of like the first step in adding parts. So what I'm going to do is just kind of freehand it. I'm going to say, alright, I want the eye to be that big, and the other one to be this big. Now here's the trick on how to fix them, because I'm pretty sure these aren't right. You're going to need to measure these eyes, either with a ruler and seeing numbers, or you can measure it with the end of a pencil. What I do is I put the end of the pencil at the end of the eye, and then I put my thumb at the other end. See? That's the width of the eye right there. Then I put them in between. The distance between this eye and that eye is one eye. You should be able to fit a whole eyeball in between two of them to get the right spacing. And I did it correctly, so I don't need to fix that. This eye is the same distance, or the same width as that one, so boom, boom, boom. It works. Now there should also be enough space for another eye on the outside. Or at least most of an eye. It should be a little bit less. But this side of the head is a little thin, so I'm going to extend it a little bit. And you're going to have a lot of messy lines all over this, but you're going to erase it later. Not a big deal. I guess I didn't draw the center line right here well enough. But even if you don't get one of these steps right, later on you fix it because you start to say like, oops, this is too wide, this is too small. Now to shape the eyes. It's kind of like a lemon or a pointy football kind of shape. And you can draw your eyes however you want. This whole lesson right here is meant to describe to you where things go and how big they need to be. Not how to draw a perfect eye, perfect nose, or perfect mouth. Now, let's get to the nose. The nose, the width of it, normally, not always, it's going to be the same as the inside points of the eye. So if you were to bring this downward, that should be about the width of the nose. Now over here, I'm going to draw what I was always taught a nose should look like in a drawing, for the most part. Whenever I was in middle school, my teacher taught me to draw a nose like a bird. She would draw this first and say, yeah, that looks like a bird in the distance, right? Whenever you're drawing mountains or something. She said, curve it out and put it into a pair of parentheses. Just like that. So what I'm going to do, since we have the width of it, I'm going to put the parentheses first. Then, I'm going to curve it up. And now I've got the nose. The curves on the nose, you don't really need to draw. Everybody always wants to draw these lines coming down to show the edges of it, but you can get to that later with shading. Now that we finished off the nose, we're going to go on to the mouth. The mouth is a little difficult because it's kind of a weird shape and everybody wants to add just like basic smiley faces and stuff, and that's okay. You can put it however you want, but I'm going to show you how I was taught how mouths normally kind of look, and then you guys can change it however you want. So first we have to get the width. With the eyes, let's say they're looking straight forward at us. I'm going to add the pupils right in the middle. Looks a little scary, doesn't it? Like I said, this isn't really a lesson on how to draw the pupils in the eyes and the specific points, so I'm just going to get this done so we can move on. But all you really need to know is the center of the eyes. Right here down the middle. You're going to follow that straight down to your guideline for the mouth. and that's how wide it should be. Some people have smaller mouths, larger mouths, but this is about the basic amount right here. And you can start off with a flat mouth like that, but it's a little strange looking. What I do is I kind of take that seagull idea, the curvy looking seagull, and I just flatten it out a little more. Make it come up, go down, just barely, little tiny bit. Sometimes it looks a little strange having it that wide. You can shrink it, you can make it larger. Like I said, this isn't how to draw a perfect face, just the base for one. You can add the little cleft, I think, no? Something like that. I don't remember the wordage for it. Now that we've got the basic parts of the face, we're going to end up adding the eyebrows. Eyebrows! I'm not too sure on the exact measurement of where they need to go or how big they need to be, but I do know that they are about the size of your eye, if not a little bit larger on the outsides. We're going to try and put them to where the tops of the eyebrows hit that first guideline we made. And they're going to curve in the same shape as the eye. I'm starting it right about at the edge of the inside of the eye. I'm starting a little bit below the line, curving up and hitting it, and coming outward just past the edge of the eye. Drawing this in the classroom, I usually do it on a really large sheet of paper and it comes out way weird looking. Even right now, this isn't usually how I draw faces, but this is, you know, the basic way of learning it. For guys, they usually have thicker eyebrows. Girls usually take care of themselves more. Now we have some basic features on a face. If certain things are starting to bother you, certain guidelines and stuff, you can start to erase them and it might make you feel better and you'll be able to draw it better, knowing, oh, that's not in the way, this isn't blocking my view, things like that. Next, a cool trick that most people are like, whoa, I never even knew that, are the ears. So if you were to take your hands from your eyebrows, drag them straight across your face, all the way to the sides, you're going to reach the top of your ears. For the most part. Some people are different. Some people have smaller ears. I feel like I have pretty small ears. So I draw a guideline from the eyebrow straight out to the edge of the head. From the bottom of your nose, if you drag your finger straight from the bottom of your nose all the way around, you're going to reach the bottom of your ears. Now notice the way I drew the ear. A lot of people, they draw these guidelines straight out, and then they think that's where the base of their ear needs to go, and they go upward. And then they come down, and then they think the base of their ear is right where the bottom of the nose is, and then they go outward, come back in like a dinner plate, which is how you're supposed to draw it, but a dinner plate that's a little too large. So you can kind of see the difference in this ear versus this one. The top of the ear is where the guideline is, and I went inward to end it lower than the eyebrow, and I ended the bottom of the ear higher than the nose. Maybe later on I'll get into perfecting how to draw a person, but for right now we're just learning how to place things in the right spot and make them the right size. Two more things. We need to do the neck and the hair. The neck, for different people, it's different. Some people have wider necks, smaller. We're going to draw a basic looking one. Usually what I do is I find the edge of the head. We don't really want that. That's more like a John Cena neck right there. You're going to shrink it in just a little bit, maybe like where the edge of the eyebrows are, and bring that down. Right where the edge of the eyebrows are, bring it down. See that? I'll erase away. And right about where the chin is, that's usually where your shoulder muscles start to come in, or these muscles right here. So we kind of branch outward from the neck to add that in. Got the eyes, eyebrows, nose, mouth, ears, neck, shoulders. Last thing is the hairline. Everybody's got a different kind of hairline. And even girls with long hair, a lot of kids think like, no I don't, that's not how it looks. But I'm going to show you what it looks like whenever someone is just completely shaved bald. Usually it starts right about midway or 3/4 of the way up an ear. You're going to draw it upward. Just past the eyebrows, that usually comes inward. Just a little bit, just until you get into the eyebrows. It'll go up. Just a little bit, and then come back in and stretch across the forehead. That's the basics of it. After that, you can start to add in whatever kind of hair you want to make it look however you want. Now that I've finished off the basic face, I'm going to finish it off and add a couple of last touches to it. After adding all of the basic features to a face, you can change it up however you want, fix it up however you want, and turn it into whatever kind of character you want. You could even pick out an image on Google of a celebrity, draw out the basic face, and then start to adjust it from there. I hope this is useful to you. I hope you continue practicing, and as always, thanks for watching.